Hello and welcome to this episode of Thoughts from a Tree. In this episode, I'm going to take you through a story. So this story is in memory of my brother. Today is his birthday, so the 27th of October when I'm filming this. And last week was his anniversary of his passing. My brother was probably my biggest hero, my biggest influence growing up. But also through all of that and through all that he gave, he ended up taking his own life. And I just used this story and this story has been a narrative that I've used to kind of put my feelings and emotions into nature and see a kind of a mirrored effect in nature that would better explain it, to kind of deal and I don't know, help sort it through my problems. So enjoy this little story.
A long time ago, there was a forest, and this forest was a community, and in this forest, they started to grow a brand new tree. Now, over the time, this tree grew into something really quite special and loved by the rest of the forest. Now, alongside this first tree, there's a new tree that started to sprout up. And as this new tree sprouted up, the first tree took it on himself that he would be this tree's guide, this tree's helper, and this tree's support. And over time, this second tree grew and grew and grew. And over it, it grew. The other tree, the first tree, used itself as a shelter. So it sheltered it from storms and really strong winds so this tree could grow stronger. It also guided this second tree by showing it ways in which to grow stronger and to be around the other trees, sharing its nutrition and sharing the weather around it to get the best growth. This second tree then grew much, much bigger until the point where the second tree was taller than the first tree. But even at this point, this first tree really led by example. And this first tree was so loved by all that was surrounded it, by the animals that came around and used it as shelter. There were animals that could use the food around it. The people that came and could lean on it or sit on it, that could vent and tell stories to it. But also the fact that this tree could show happiness to the people that came. It would dance and sway when the winds blew. It would blossom in the sunlight and really show its beauty through this. And people were drawn and attracted to this tree, and the forest loved that this tree was part of the community. Now, as the second tree grew that bit taller, the first tree could no longer fully shelter it from the storm. But as the storms got stronger, it could use branches to hold out and reach out and support the second tree to make sure that it stayed upright when needed. And as the storms grew much and much stronger, it took more and more of the brunt of these storms and put itself in the way and really held itself out for the rest of the forest, giving a lot, and never really taking too much. Until one day, it became too much, and the storm broke the tree, snapped the tree, and the tree tumbled to the ground. Now, as this tree tumbled to the ground and led there, the forest was distraught. They had lost one of their community, one of their solid pillars of their forest, creating that support network within the forest. The animals were upset that they'd lost this tree. The people that used to come and flock round this tree were upset that they'd lost this great, amazing tree. And in all that sadness and all that distraught, the second tree was massively hurt. The second tree didn't know how it could cope without this first tree that had been with it so long and done so much, supported it, guided it, helped it, and really, in essence, been that one tree to help out. But this second tree realised that as this tree led there, that this tree was actually bringing the forest closer together. By its falling, people gathered round and really worked as forest to help this tree and to really take this fallen tree as a guide and a help. The second tree learnt that over the time, all this work and this effort and this love that the first tree had shown could be used and could be taken. And he realised that although through this break and this hurt, something beautiful could grow out of this. He learned that it could take all this into any community in any forest and really spread this. Now, through the fallen tree, it aided the forest by adding extra shelter for animals, a place for new visitors to play, to be excited, and it opened up a point where love could really grow. And through all of this first tree's teaching, the second tree learnt to really accepting other trees, and love could flourish. And out of this first tree, a new tree grew, and then a second tree grew, and then a third tree grew, creating a new tree all out of the memory of the first tree. And all because these new trees were attracted to this space because of the teachings and the guidance of this first tree and the love of this first tree. This story is the story of two trees. It's a Thoughts from a Tree story, and it is in honour of my brother. For those that don't know, quite a few years ago, my brother did commit suicide, as I mentioned at the start of this video. And this story has developed over time and has changed its forms over time, but I really looked into nature to find a way in my head to kind of see what was going on and to kind of deal with the pain and the hurt that I felt, especially early on, but I go back to it when I need to. And this story is very, very much in terms of how I see our lives played out, and yeah, it is that thing that one of my favorite things to see when I go out into nature is a tree that has finally fallen, but new trees have grown out of it, and therefore it shows that real kind of thing that, you know, you can fall, but your memories aren't gone and your purpose isn't gone, and that time that you spent on the earth isn't gone, and that new and amazing things grow out of it and come out of it. So however sad something can be, there is a way to kind of structure it and cope and look at it in different lights. Now, for me, obviously, hopefully it came through that my brother was very special to me, and he was the main person in my life for so many years. But now I do have a beautiful family that I suppose a lot of me being able to get that family have been down to the way that he treated me growing up, and he helped me and he showed me so many ways to be the person that maybe I've turned out to be today. So this is in memory of my brother Adam, or H, as some people will know, and hopefully this is something that may help other people, and if not, is maybe just a nice, beautiful story. Thank you very much for listening. This has been Thoughts from a Tree and the story Two Trees.